One, and we are live. Welcome to Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing. Joining me today, I've got my two lovely co-hosts and a very, very special guest. Why don't you three introduce yourselves?
Yo, what's up? My name is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with 2 O's.
My name is Mac once again, and you can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFiend. That's F-I-E-N. And we have a special guest here today. This is probably about 2 years in the making. And just talking with them, I know we heard his voice a couple months ago, and we were like, oh, he's got the perfect fucking voice. We need to get him on. He's a diehard Cardinal fan. He's been one of the biggest supporters of this podcast, so without further ado, why don't you introduce yourself, guest?
Hello, world. This is Juan. You can find me at Twitter at @OtherRedRocker. And here I am. Yeah, like you said, Mac, it's been a little bit. We've been talking about this back and forth for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for jumping on with us. But
we're so happy you won the Redbird Redzone Fuck a Fan contest. We're happy to have you here.
Not by me.
Time to suck some toes.
Okay, and we're out of the gates with that one, right?
Yeah, we're in the camcorder, by the way. That we're gonna live stream this.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Nah.
We'll have that one written down for a year and a half.
I know. I'm in drought territory right now, but I don't need all that either, though.
Not that bad. Yeah, not that bad. Yeah, this is Uncle Tio on Twitter. So I know you.
Tio Juan.
Tio Juan.
Or yeah, what did I say? Did I say Uncle Tio?
Yeah,
Uncle.
You translated it.
I'm so fucking white. But just talking with you before, I was telling you how I love your accent or whatever, and it reminds me of my uncle from El Paso. So if I start kind of getting a thick kind of El Pasoian accent, you know why. But then you said you're from El Paso, so you're in the valley now. How long have you been here for? Juan?
Uncle Juan. You could have to call me Uncle Juan though. I've been here since February of '99. Actually, the week of Valentine's of '99.
Okay, I forget Jackie.
The heartbreak that made you move out here, or what? What made you remember Valentine's?
It happened to be that it was that week, and I just remembered that all the hearts and everything going down, all the vendors selling all their baskets and stuff. So I always remembered that.
Nice.
And it is Jackie's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
On the 14th of February.
On the 14th of February.
There's a little cluster of us because I'm February 9th. We're all Aquarios.
Yes. So
my appendicitis
all the cool people are born in February.
My appendicitis out on Valentine's Day in 5th grade. So while you were probably just being born, Jackie, I was in pain like a motherfucker.
Oh.
Have you been a Cardinal fan since El Paso, or since you came here you adopted them?
Mm-hmm.
I know my uncle there is a Cowboy fan, but I've kind of turned since growing up and everything, and he kind of got me into sports. I turned him more into a Cardinal fan, so every time I talk to him, he always brings up the Cardinals.
Yeah, you know what it was is I was always a football fan, but I never had a team. Cowboy fans kind of drove me crazy, so I knew I didn't want none of that cult. You know what I mean? But I always admired football. And then when I moved here, I actually had something that I could have called my own. You know what I mean? And it kind of started with there. And it really started when Green became coach, to be honest with you. That's when I really gravitated towards the team.
Oh, okay.
That was a fun team. They drafted really well. That was probably the last time they absolutely nailed a draft. What was that? The Dockett Dansby draft?
It was the Fitz Dansby Dockett draft.
And that's when A-Dub was a young player. You probably saw the last of maybe a year of Pat Tillman. That was a sneaky good era.
If I remember right, we got four guys, like 4 solid guys out of that draft.
They should have had a Super Bowl.
And Bolden was on the team too. We can't pass that dude up.
Yeah. Yeah, Bolden used to play basketball over at LA Fitness. I remember one time we were in high school, or maybe it was right out of high school. I was with my buddy in his truck, and he pulled up to Desert Financial to take out some money, and he pulled in right next to this nice ass Escalade, and there are fucking parking spots everywhere. And my buddy just pulls in right next to this fucking nice ass Escalade, and like barely opens the door, barely squeezes out the door, and like the dude's looking at him, and I'm looking at the fucking dude in the Escalade, and it's Anquan Bolden. I'm like, oh shit! My buddy like gets back in the car. I'm like, yo, Anquan was about to beat your ass for parking way too close to his car.
And never mind, there's real estate all over the place. He could have been, huh?
Oh, white people. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, are you? I gotta ask, since I don't talk to a lot of people from El Paso. Are you a UTEP fan at all? Do you still keep tabs on them?
You know what? I never really got into that whole college rah-rah UTEP thing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just never, it never intrigued me. I know basketball was big there, but the football, not so much.
Yeah, the basketball team's pretty good this year.
They're always not bad. The basketball team. My mom, when she was growing up, she was trying to train for the Olympics, and the UTEP team with that made the what was it, Glory Road or whatever.
Yeah, Glory Road with the Don Haskell story.
Yeah, the first all 5 starting black players. She was at that national championship. She was at a swim meet or something in like Indianapolis or wherever the fuck it was. And UTEP at the time it was what, West Texas or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah,
Texas Western. So, but I just had to ask you on that. Have you ever heard of Chuckalo Burger in El Paso?
No, that don't even sound familiar.
Really? Okay. God damn it. When I went to training camp with the Cardinals back in the day, John Skelton was there, and John Skelton's from El Paso. So when you're in Flagstaff, I don't know if anyone's ever been to Flagstaff training camp, but after practice or whatever, you can meet all the guys or whatever. So John Skelton came walking by, and I asked him too if he's ever been to Charcoal Burger, and he looked at me like I had 3 heads or something like that.
Yes, you've told this story on this podcast.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I ran into John Skelton, and every time I run into him, it's like at a restaurant.
Out here or in El Paso?
Yeah, no, here in Arizona.
Okay. Yeah.
I ran into him at the Flamed Pie once, and then another time at some Mexican hole-in-the-wall joint. And it's crazy because my cousin used to coach him at Burgess High School when he was on the softball team or baseball team.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy. I called my cousin. I said, "Hey, do you know John Skelton?" He goes, "Dude, I used to train that dude baseball."
Wow.
And then I started talking to him. He goes, "Oh yeah, Coach Pena. Yeah, that's your cousin." I said, "Yeah, dude, it's my cousin." So it's a trip, dude. It's a small world. And speaking of small worlds, you know who I ran into at the museum the other day? Robbie Hausler, tight end, also from El Paso.
You recognized him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's from El Paso too?
Yeah, he's from El Paso also. And I said, "Hey, dude, what's up, Robbie?" And he like looks at me like "Who the fuck are you?" But I was like, "Hey, well, you know what? The chick he was with, she was all impressed, like, "Oh shit, this guy's for real or whatever."
But yeah, get an autograph. Like, thanks for saving my dog last week, Robbie. Have a good night.
I know, dude.
I think it's at that time we talk about our favorite team.
I agree. It was that time.
We were getting.
What are we drinking? We need to figure out what we're drinking.
Thank you, Will.
Juan, are you drinking anything special?
I am not drinking nothing right now. Sorry.
I'm drinking some ice cold agua.
Becky?
So I am drinking water because those of you that don't know, I was at the Suns game last night, and I got belligerent.
Oh my god!
To the point where I accidentally punched somebody in the back of the head. So I'm on my best behavior tonight.
Jackie's out.
Well, maybe you should come down for the Hornets game in a couple months. We'll beat them.
I do have to
punch in the back of the head.
I do have to say, Jackie, you quoted a tweet, was that this morning or last night, that Monty Williams was talking about some fans that were courtside?
Mm-hmm. Got a little too rowdy, got ejected. Yep, that was last night. So it came to my attention this morning that I apparently got ejected last night.
So Jackie, I said that tongue in cheek, and our buddy Brandon listens to the show. What up, Brandon? he sent me the screenshot or the text or the tweet that you sent, Jackie. He's like, I can't tell if she's serious or not. I'm like, I don't think she had courtside seats, but that wouldn't
No,
be
I did not have
surprising.
courtside seats. I had
Just
really close seats,
some people
though.
must have been confused, but
Yeah, she
I get
punched Monty Williams in the back of the head. That's what happened.
I slept.
Robert Sarver on the way out. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, no. I'm on
Any
my
other
bestest behavior.
Any other questions for Juan or anything? Before we jump into the Cardinals, we appreciate
This
everyone for
game,
listening here.
our
You're
the
supposed to go
Christmas
yesterday, but it fell through.
Juan,
So here we are on Thursday.
who do you think should have been the Super Bowl halftime show?
for this one coming.
Yeah,
Where is it at?
it's in
Here.
Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
Phoenix.
no shit, it is here, huh? You know what? Who if they have that Rihanna girl, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're choosing Juan, who you picking?
If I'm choosing, I'm gonna choose.
Yeah, we know you're a music buff. Yeah,
I know I'm a music
if
buff.
you guys love music, like good,
Old school rock and
oldies
roll,
music,
some metal.
Uncle Tio Juan has got you. Jump on, follow him. He's definitely up to date with all the music choices. But yeah, that is a good choice. Who would you pick, Juan, if it came down to you?
If we're gonna go Arizona, but everything here is kind of dated. There's no like new fresh acts, and that's what they're kind of about, right?
Oh yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be Arizona. I'm just talking like off the cuff. Who you picking?
Ooh, shit. Ooh, you know what? AC/DC would be awesome.
Hell yeah, it would
Hell
be.
yeah.
AC/DC.
All right, let's talk about our favorite team that constantly lets us down. Guys, what did you think of the game?
What'd you think, Juan?
I thought it was painful to watch. They tried to give it to us. They tried to give it to us, but we didn't take it.
Yeah,
we didn't take it from them.
We got some major coal in our stocking on Christmas, man. Between that and the Suns' loss, it was a long night.
Yes, it was.
It's funny because it's like at a point, even though we were up like 16-6, I was like, we're gonna lose this game. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I can sense this Brady magic incoming, where we somehow can't ever.
A lot of magic.
Oh, I know. I'm using
ugly
it.
as
I'm
shit.
using it derisively. I don't think there's any magic in 5-yard dump offs to Leonard Fournette when our linebackers ain't covering them.
Yeah, in our group chat, when we went up 16-6, the one Jackie and I are in, people are like, "Oh, we can't even fucking tank right," and I was like, "Well, this is usually where the defense gets tired and kind of falls apart, and right on cue, march on down, send it to overtime." Yeah, Christmas was a bad night in general. You had the Suns, before that the Cardinals. Oh, Juan, have you been to a Cardinal game since you've been to AZ?
Oh yeah, I've been to several. I've been to 3 this year.
Oh fuck, where have I been?
Shit.
Are you? So that means, have we won a game this year? We won the Saints game. Were you there?
Yeah, I was at the Saints game. I was at the Rams game, and I was at the Seahawks game.
Yeah, 1-2 is not bad when you're 1-7 on the year at home. So
yeah,
I like that. You might be the good luck charmish kind of 1-2.
Hopefully, maybe.
You know what?
The game was not it was not a fun loss, but I mean, we played more dignified than we have for half the season, and we did not get made fun of by Patrick Starr on national television, so that's good.
You know what? Yeah. I disagree. I think that was actually the funnest loss I've ever had to endure because it had a little bit of everything, a little bit of razzle, some dazzle. But it was we're counting on losses right now. We need the draft pick, so I'm okay with a dignified loss.
I wanted us to lose, but I also wanted to have a winning record all time versus Brady because this is like probably the last chance.
You're the only team, right? Nobody has a winning record. We could have been the one team.
Which would be a very funny fact to just have in the trivia books forever.
The Cardinals out of all teams, everyone would just in the future would be like, who would have thought the fucking Cardinals?
You know what's crazy? If you like zoomed out and just thought of the highlights of all the damage Watt was doing, some of those powerful runs Connor was doing, and those 2 picks, you would have thought the game.
Zach Allen too. Cam Thomas was showing out a little bit. Cam Thomas, he helped force that interception. But
There's
Juan,
Like Brady's favorite target.
Beecham kind of laid some eggs though. He let our boy get sacked a couple times.
Beecham sucks. Blast that guy into the sun.
I know, dude. I was like,
he fell off. He fell off.
Dude, I was having Levi Brown flashbacks.
Yeah.
Don't say that name. Don't say that name. Oh, no.
When we signed him, there's a lot of people who are even Jets fans that were kind of mocking us because he played so poorly with the Jets, and he had that great first year, and I feel like we've gotten everything we could get out of Beecham, and it's going to be an interesting offseason. 4 of our 5 starters entering this year are all free agents. The only one is DJ Humphries, and he's out. Injured reserve right now too. So I know it's tough being a Cardinal fan right now, but everyone who's still here, listening and wanting to learn and wanting to figure out how this team can get better. We're right there in that boat with you. Beecham's gonna be 33 years old, 34 years old next year, so he's gonna be probably gone for sure. Juan, are you going for wins or are you going for losses right now? Just try not to embarrass us, but get the loss and help our draft stock. Because this weekend, we're in Atlanta, and if you look at the Tankathon results, the Cardinals have the 4th pick at the moment, and the Falcons, who are 1 loss better than us, we're 4-11, they're 5-10. They have the 6th pick. So this is kind of an important matchup if you are into kind of getting the best draft pick possible. Where do you lie, though, on?
You know what? Me personally, I'm kind of on the win out for what kind of vibe. I feel for the dude, but that's just me, though. But
I love him. I love him, but on the same token, this is kind of out there. We have potentially, it take a lot of bullshit to get here, a shot at the number 1 pick. We would need the Texans to win out, which if they win this week, I think it's possible. Because they play, let's see, who do they play this week? They play the Jacksonville this week, which, difficult. And they play the Colts next week, which is awesome.
Well, here's the kicker, too. Who's in front of us in the draft and who needs the quarterback?
Well, the Texans need a quarterback. The Seahawks do not need a quarterback. And
Seahawks could use a quarterback, though. I mean,
they might go quarterback.
I don't know, man.
They're contending, but Geno's not the future. We even talked about it this year. Like, they're obviously selling to try to, get the best pick, probably the best quarterback out there. And you're able to win this year, and then you also able to draft in the top 3 for a quarterback. On the
same token, there's only one quarterback in this draft who's actually worth a damn. I'd say that you have Bryce Young, and then you have a bunch of guys who, are quarterbacks you would pick in the first round, but they aren't necessarily.
But every year, people reach on quarterbacks. So one thing about the draft that we do know, and last year was kind of that off year, and it seemed like this draft coming up was going to be a really good QB draft. It could still live up to that, but it does feel like, to your point, that it's kind of lost a little hype.
Yeah, Will Levis, for instance, he's one of those guys. I get the vibes of like Trubisky. I get like this is a guy who had one good year, and draft analysts are hyping him up, and they are talking out of their ass to do it. Yeah, I get bad vibes from Will Levis, and everybody's talking him up.
But I mean.
That's besides the point, though. We need the Texans to win out. We need the Bears to win a single game, which they could play the Lions and they play the Vikings. If the Vikings have that 1 seed secured, I can't see them putting everything against the Bears in that final week. And the Broncos. The Broncos are the trickiest one to me because they need one win against either the Chiefs or the Chargers.
That's not happening.
That's not going to happen.
ESPN simulations had us getting the number 1 pick.
I think we
simulations, though.
Oh, simulation. Yeah. It's a 2% chance right now, right? Am I wrong?
But that's not nothing.
Yeah, we'll find a way to fuck it up, though, man. That's the problem.
Yeah. The last time ESPN did a simulation I gave a fuck about was when we signed Emmitt Smith and they did a fucking Madden simulation and we won the fucking Super Bowl. After that, I had a little bit of hope, when I don't know, I'm fucking or whatever, in high school or whatever the fuck it was when we signed Emmitt Smith. So I got kind of stoked.
The point,
and then we won like 5 games. I'm like,
the point of the matter is,
the
point of the matter is that we have a chance to potentially make something happen here, and we have a chance to rise our ranks in the draft. Here's my take: if I get that number 1 pick, I'm trading down. I am getting the Detroit Lions on the phone.
You're not getting the number 1 pick.
I'm getting the Detroit Lions on the phone. I'm saying, hey, I want your 2 first-round picks, and I want a 3rd.
Okay, so here's the thing about trading down in the draft. Currently, the Cardinals, I counted 34 free agents to be this offseason. Bob McManaman came out with an article and has 28. So somewhere between 28 and 34 free agents to be on a 53-man roster. You're going to have a lot of holes to fill. And I know you, before we jumped on here, Will, you sent us a link to somebody who is opening up to get $70 million worth of cap space. I hate to break it to everyone, they're going to need a lot fucking more than $70 million to bring back around 30 pieces and to bring in guys who are going to help the team win. You can't just bring bodies at that point. I mean, 4 of our 5 offensive linemen, Zach Allen's a free agent, Byron Murphy's a free agent. You just can't let some of these guys go. And these guys have an opportunity to play hardball with the Cardinals. So it's definitely going to be interesting to kind of see what happens right here. But
so we're fucked, is what you're telling us.
Honestly,
I'm trying to be optimistic. Juan, do you have something for me to be optimistic about? What is the driving force to keep you positive? And I feel like you're one of the more positive people on Twitter.
I've got something.
You know what? I just want a good cornerback.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I could get that in the 1st or 2nd, probably more as if it's not a hot time for it. Because I was thinking today, as a matter of fact, man, you remember when Patrick Peterson was hot? And that's how we had that back area covered up and shit. And I think that's killing Buddha. He's working too hard, killing himself.
Trying to make up for people. And you know what? Quarterback is a real need. Byron Murphy, Marco Wilson, they're decent. They're NFL caliber guys and who have upside. But if you could get a guy in here who's actually coming off as a true number 1 cornerback, that is something where you could trade down and possibly get the number 1 quarterback. I believe we talked about it with Aaron. Was that last week?
Mm-hmm.
Jackie. And that's something where you have so many pieces that you need to fill, and you can stack up on some draft picks. It's not sexy. It's definitely not sexy. But, I mean, if you do get that 1st overall pick, let's say, and you can just trade down a spot or 2 and to be guaranteed one of those, defensive guys, Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, that is kind of a... If you could get another 1st rounder, that's right there. But yeah, before we go any further, though, you're kind of missing the elephant in the room. J.J. Watt retiring. How have we gone this long, half an hour already, almost, without kind of hitting on it? How do you guys feel? What was the first? Let's start with what was the first feeling that you guys had, kind of when you guys read his tweet or realized that he was retired? I had to reread it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, is this what means? What I think it means?
I'm sad about it, but I half expected it. I think that it was either he retires or he goes to another place for he's just kind of at that point of his career, I'd say. I get it.
I think he sees the shit show on the horizon, and I think he don't want a part of it.
Don't you think he'd still want to play football though? Even let's say. Look at DeAndre Hopkins. Did we all see that DeAndre Hopkins liked the tweet
about trading him?
Here's the thing. I've seen that. I don't know if it's entirely legitimate.
I think it's real.
I saw one guy post it, and I'm seeing a lot of people take that as gospel.
All right, let's go to DeAndre Hopkins' Twitter page. We can keep talking.
It's not there anymore.
He unliked it if he supposedly did like it. But I think
I've liked shit on accident before, man. I mean, I
After
know
they like some good porn, you're like, fuck, I can't put that on the timeline.
Or maybe he just kind of mindlessly scrolling sees a picture of himself and likes it without actually reading it. But to the whole JJ thing, earlier in the year he had that scare with his heart, and then you mix that in with a new baby. Like once you become a parent, your like priorities kind of shift. So like things that he cared about before just become trivial. So I think he's at a good place right now to just kind of hang it up.
Especially with the health scare.
Yeah,
he's got a family. He's only getting older. I mean, football's a fucking awful game for the human body. I mean, I get it. It's.
And there's not a lot of times where someone can join the organization for 2 years, and you can feel like this dude is a Cardinal, man. Like I'll think of JJ Watt as a fucking Cardinal. A lot of people, they want to post memes or whatever about all the Cardinals people who've come here and retired as a Cardinal. Yeah, but I don't feel like that's what he came here. He busted his ass, man. He played in that playoff game, and he never should have. He never should have been in that game to begin with. I mean, it's hard, man. It sucks, man. You're seeing JJ Watt retiring. If the DeAndre Hopkins, liking the tweet of him, possibly moving on and taking his no trade clause down and get traded. It's hard to find silver linings in a year like this year, and to your point, Will, it's now the thing on the horizon is the draft, and right now we're battling with the Falcons. So,
but
this week coming up, you're going to see Desmond Ridder make his third career start against our defense. It's going to be interesting. He has not looked great up to this point, but
none of the quarterbacks in last year's draft have really.
But I'm still a fan of Ridder. I think he could do some things. I know they've had some injuries there, and Drake London's a nice piece to have on offense. And Tyler Algier, you can draft a guy in the 4th round, running back, and look the way he did. They got some pieces.
Dude, I haven't seen a Falcon game in a long time, dude. I'm trying to think of when's the last.
The Falcons aren't really a team I pay
Tyler's rookie year.
Super Bowl loss.
The Falcons.
You remember that Cardinal game where we got like 6 turnovers and we still lost against the Falcons?
When was this?
That was terrible. That was John Skelton was on quarterback.
Stop saying his name.
Was Steven Jackson ever a fucking Falcon?
I think he was at like the end of his career.
Yeah, he was at the end, I believe.
Okay, for some reason
the Ram, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, he's only 39?
Steven Jackson.
Oh my god. Yeah, he was a Patriot at the end? The fuck? I don't remember that.
That dude was thick, man. That dude was thick, dude.
Oh my god.
Thicker than a Snicker.
He's only 39. That's insane.
So that would have been like the Skelton kind of. What was Skelton here? That was 2013-14. He was with the Falcons. So that
would have been the 2013 Falcons.
No, Skelton was. Skelton was late 2000s, right? I want to say.
Skelton was like 2010, 12.
Yeah, last year I had my season tickets.
Yeah.
And
in that game, he had 139 rushing yards against us. We are losing the plot here, gentlemen.
What is the plot? Let's go. Drive us, Will. What do we got next?
Let's get back. What's going on?
What are we missing, Will?
So, there have been possibly rumors, possibly speculation, possibly God knows what, that Cliff just wants out. What do you guys think of this?
I just want to say, you go, Jackie. I apologize.
That's all I wanted to say was bye. I don't think it's true because, I'm sure he wants to get paid, but either way, bye.
We've talked about this on the podcast before. Just the way he looks, like his eyes just look deadened.
He looks sunken.
From year one, the end of even last year and the beginning of this year, he looks defeated, and you feel bad for the guy. I mean, too much.
Yeah. I feel bad for him. I don't hate him as a person. I just don't like him as a coach.
Yeah,
He
I
seems
think
like a guy who's putting in the effort and everything, and I mean, he's banged better tail than me, Juan, and Will and Jackie combined. But
I know, and I
good for him. It would be hard seeing him walk away. If he walks away, though, what state of affairs are the Cardinals in when a failed fucking college head coach who just got a 6-year fucking contract extension walks away
walked
after
away.
1 year with those reports? That
Pretty dire.
yeah.
I'm gonna name some names for ideas I have for replacements. I want you guys to tell me what you think.
Well, first, Juan, what do you make of the whole
One,
rumor?
yeah.
Okay.
you know what?
Okay.
I don't think he's going to walk away because I think
No.
this gig is a tree that's going to bear fruit once for him. He's not going to be asked to coach anywhere else. So
Yeah,
I
but
think
if it
he's
is,
going to
it is
stay.
having this much of a toll and it is destroying him this much as it says that report says. I mean, shit.
And look at Bruce Arians. He said he flamed out in Temple, and then he had to quit here because of health issues. And who knows what those fucking health issues are? And now we're looking at Steve Kine with health issues. I mean, what has been the one constant is the Cardinals organization. Michael Bidwell up top, and Michael Bidwell is not a terrible owner, but I could see him dabbling in the day-to-day operations where it could just be overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean the fact that you have film sessions every week with him. I mean that sounds like
Micromanaging.
Yeah.
No one likes a micromanager. I'll tell you that.
No.
Well,
man.
let's see how this GM thing pans out too. Because if a GM comes in, he's probably going to want his coach.
Oh,
But if they want to put Adrian Wilson in, Adrian Wilson could probably be told this guy's their coach.
But what if your coach is your GM?
Oh, Sean Payton.
So I'm gonna name some.
It sound like Sean Payton doesn't even want to be a GM. From was it Josina Anderson's tweet that she posted that he prefers the LA, the Chargers or the Rams, but he also prefers a place with the strong GM ties. So it doesn't really feel like he wants to be GM, which is smart. That's what you want to hear from the guy. You don't want a guy to come in and want to feel like he's trying to take control of everything. So you do wonder if him and A-Dub have any sort of relationship at all, though.
So I'm going to name some names of people who we could potentially get as a coach. I want you guys to let me know what you think. What do you think?
Okay.
Sean Payton.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck you sideways, yeah.
Juan?
You know what? I'm the only one on earth who don't like Sean Payton.
No, I don't like him as a guy, but I just want to win, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Bidwell's over Bounty Gate.
I can see that. Yeah,
I seem to
be petty like that.
I don't even like to see fucking what's that dude's name? John Valdir when he's commentating on TV. Not Valdir. What's that? Velma. What's that fool's name?
Jonathan Velma.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
he's the one who did the hit.
That's what I love about.
I don't know that.
I appreciate that. Mexicans are loyal, Juan. Okay, that is what I'm getting from that.
Fuck yeah, we are.
You bring that up. I feel like, I brought that up last week. I kind of got shunned too, but no, I'm glad we're in kind of like. I wonder if A-Dub also feels that way. Like, does A-Dub have he was on that fucking team, like you knocked out our quarterback. Man. That's the best chance I ever had of fucking winning a Super Bowl. You think you get over it when you're, the big guy or whatnot, but
that was
Can I name some
more? NFC Championship game?
No, that was
divisional.
That was after we beat. What was it, the Packers that next year?
Green Bay and the Wild Card.
51-45. Can we keep going?
No.
Sure.
I'm kidding.
Brian Flores.
No. Huh. What is your thoughts on Brian Flores, real quick?
I
guess he was pretty good in Miami. I won't say. I think I was thinking of somebody else for a second, but I do not really want a defensive guy. Also, and he's linebacker coach, senior defensive assistant. I do it's kind of a middle ground to find. A guy who's going to demand respect out of Kyler and earn that respect.
Well, he wanted to fucking get rid of Tua in Miami, so.
Is that what he wanted to do?
No, he wanted to get he wanted Herbert over Tua. Is the thing.
Yeah, but then he was trying to push Tua out.
Yeah, no, I'm really good on defensive right now. I think the biggest factor.
Well, shit. I guess that answers my next one then. Or actually, Juan, what do you think of Brian Flores?
You know what? I think I don't like that whole story that's going to come with him too, about how he was told to tank and all that stuff, and I kind of want a clean slate kind of guy. You know what I mean?
He's on that same lawsuit, right, as Wilkes, or was that something?
He inspired Wilkes to do his lawsuit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think
that'd be interesting.
By the way, insane stat about Wilkes right now. Wilkes has the best start of any Panthers coach ever right now.
Maybe we should get Steve Wilkes back in the business.
Oh, fuck.
Can we re-gift that?
Oh, jeez.
You know what criteria I look for, really? I don't want a buddy boss. I don't want the buddy boss.
No.
Yeah, I don't want another Cliff.
Yeah, I want
you need a guy to have a little power.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Cliff. Yeah, like Cliff has no power in that organization.
Yeah,
I guess your mentality on Flores answers my next question.
Let me just say about Steve Wilkes real quick though, before we start busting loads about him. It's the Panthers offense that has kind of jump-started their resurgence. 37 against the Lions last week. 2 weeks ago, December 11th, 30 against the Seahawks. So, I mean, they're playing good ball right now, but if you take out their head coach who's an offensive guy and you have another voice in the offensive room, and that's kind of what's mostly, I feel like, winning their games, it's hard for me to kind of bend over to Steve Wilkes and be like, oh, yeah, he's the next guy for sure. But, I mean, we'll see. They got the Buccaneers and the Saints right in front of them these next 2 weeks. They win that, they win their division, right? So they get in the playoffs and they win a playoff game, and you really can't say much about that.
Yeah, how crazy is that they went from just bottom feeders to this? That just goes to show how bad of a coach fucking what's his face was.
Well,
shit, he was so bad I can't remember his name.
The division's god awful.
Matt Rule, yeah. D'Amico Ryans.
Well, we talked about last week with Aaron.
Did you listen to us last week, Will?
I started it. I still haven't finished it.
Okay, so yeah, we've already had this discussion.
D'Amico Ryans has so much fucking talent on defense. Like he I just don't think that is the right plan of attack here.
What about Ken Dorsey?
Ken Dorsey, the former Niners quarterback. Who's he with right now?
He is the OC of the Bills.
Is this his first year there?
Nope. He's been there for 3 years. He was a quarterback's coach in 2019, passing game coordinator / coaching quarterbacks coach last year, and now he's the OC.
No, I don't. I'm good on Ken Dorsey. He doesn't really have that. That pedigree that I think Kyler is gonna need to lead us to
a 1 year hot shot.
The Super Bowl and turn into a Super Bowl type quarterback. You got to be able to do the small things. I want a guy who's going to come in here and force Kyler to get under center and do a fucking quarterback sneak on 4th and 1 if possible, or 3rd and 1 if possible. That's just, I need a guy like that, and I don't think Ken Dorsey, as much as he might be kind of an up and coming guy, I don't feel like he's that. Juan, do you know anything about Ken Dorsey at all? What are your feelings on?
I don't think it'd work, because if he's doing Josh Allen, he's be good with that Ben Roethlisberger type quarterback, not with our little dude. You know what I mean?
I don't know. We're just in kind of a rock and a hard place. All we have is speculation right now.
So what do we do? Do we try to make to make Kyler Murray better or change him or what? That's the story. That's the conundrum. I think.
My biggest thing is I feel like you can like Cliff is willing to bend over for Kyler to do what really Kyler wants instead of stretching him out and testing his limits to get the best out of him. And that's kind of what I feel like you need in the NFL at this level to get where you need to be. You got to be diverse as a quarterback. You got to be able to do everything. You can't just stay to your little plan of attack, your little hut, and expect that to work in the NFL when it worked growing up in college because you're just such a superior athlete over everyone.
The issue that Kyler Murray has right now is the issue that a lot of dominant power forwards have in the NBA. The thing with dominant power forwards in the NBA, like say Giannis and AD, is often they're better at the center, but because it's such a demanding position, they want to be a power forward. They're like, I'm good at being a power forward. This is what I've
Take
done
it
my whole
easy
life.
a little bit, stand on the wing a little bit more. I can see. Yep.
Yeah.
Get in shotgun. Yeah, you want to be in shotgun more. You have everything out in front of you. So I can kind of, in a weird world, 4 beers deep, see that comparison. Yeah, sure.
Every single one of those guys wants to be the power forward, but they don't realize that they're better off as a center. Same deal with Kyler Murray.
Okay. Yeah, we just need someone to come in and push him and challenge him to be the best.
What we need is for Tyrod Taylor to come to us in the offseason, play his 2 games, get replaced by Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray has that inevitable greatest season ever after Tyrod goes that every quarterback that succeeds Tyrod
because
has.
there's something there really in the mechanics for him to be the number 1 deep passer last year into this year. Literally, we have 0 plays over 50 yards. This offense is not what we were promised. I don't care about injuries. You're going to get a play over 50 yards.
Did you see how long it's been since we've had a year like that?
Last year? What do you mean?
Since we've had a year where we didn't have a play that exceeded
over
50 yards.
Was it 18?
The 90s?
1995.
Oh, shit.
What were you going to say, Will? Or what was your guess, Juan?
I thought it was like 2018 or something. I thought it was maybe a Carlson Palmer year.
Nope.
Almost 30 years now. So there is something really wrong. Like, I do understand injuries are a reason, But
we've only had
flashes. You have to show something. And then when you have a Keontae Ingram and an Eno Benjamin in the back, and then our running backs, it's got to be one of the worst in the NFL right now. Keontae Ingram don't get no touches. We don't know what the fuck he's doing. Look around the league. Look how many rookie running backs are doing shit. And then when he does get in there, they fucking throw a pitch 90 miles an hour, and there's a fumble, and that breaks down the fucking game.
By the way, stupidest fucking decision to give him the ball in that play. We had the game won before that shit. All we needed was a yard. We should have run up the middle with Connor and sealed it. I am so strong. I am so sick of this cutesy Cliff bullshit. Fuck off.
All right, do you have any other coaches on your list?
Those are the couple I came up with. You got any ideas?
We talked last week. What was it? The Eagles offensive coordinator, Jackie? Was that last week?
Yeah, because
that was last week.
They become a better team now that Sirianni gave up calm plays.
And that's kind of what we're kind of looking for, right? Jalen Hurts isn't the biggest guy, but he's not afraid to get under center. He's not afraid to it's something as simple as QB sneaks. Not saying Kyler's afraid to do that, but there's a reason why they aren't doing that. That's just, what was it? J.J. Watt that came out and said that's the hardest play to defend, like short yardage, and it's just kind of common sense. So if you're not doing it, you're already behind the 8 ball. If you're just trying to stick to that type of offense that they've been running. But Shane Steichen is a guy. Another guy would be Mike Kafka, is someone who Ben Albright on Twitter. I like putting out things where people who are smarter than me, the ones bringing up these guys. I'm not going to be sitting here knowing every fucking offensive coordinator or whatever. But here is Mike Kafka. In 2017, he was offensive quality control coach with the Chiefs. 2018 quarterbacks coach, Chiefs. 2019 quarterbacks coach, Chiefs. 2020 passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach, Chiefs. Last season, 2021 passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach. And this season, as much as we dunk on Daniel Jones and the Giants, this is his first year as offensive coordinator for the Giants, and they're 8-6-1 right now. And a lot better spot than where we are. So that is someone where Benjamin Albright on Twitter, I don't know if you guys saw it. He said, someone asked him, what do the Cardinals do? He said, go hard as fuck for Sean Payton and have Mike Kafka in your back pocket. That's someone who's worked with Pat Mahomes as well. And Daniel Jones is having a better year than he has had to start the season. So that is somebody to keep an eye on.
Is it Kafka or Kafka, like the author?
I've always heard Kafka. I think he used to be an NFL guy, and maybe it's Kafka. Is it Jewish? I don't know.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody that celebrates.
Happy Hanukkah.
I love
Go
that
fuck yourself. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
So you guys about ready to?
When's Kyler Murray coming back? What week's Kyler Murray coming back?
Sometime in October. So that'd probably be what, like week
4.
They came out and said that he's not going to get surgery until after the New Year, correct? And I believe that is because he wants to do some like prehab on the knee to kind of maybe get the swelling down and make the surgery a little bit easier is what my understanding is.
Well, obviously he just wants to finish up the season of God, get the battle pass redeemed.
Oh God,
obviously.
Will.
No.
You know what? I bet you it's going to be longer than that, though. And
they say 9 months.
Yeah. So let's say how this does in his head too. You know what I mean? That's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I said. I brought that up 2 weeks ago. That I wouldn't expect him at the minimum. When they say, "Oh, it's 9 months," I'd expect another week or two. It feels like this whole Cliff Kingsbury entering this year has kind of tried to put a bubble over everyone to not get injured. Don't play preseason games. Out the gate, we weren't seeing a lot of Kyler Murray running. We were just, trying to not be what made us so successful last season. And, it just seems like you cannot have that in the NFL. You can't shy away from playing to the best of your ability, what gets you there. So that is definitely something that, Juan, I think you're kind of onto something. I would expect it to be at least 9 months, maybe 9.5, 10 months. It's just kind of who he is as the type of quarterback he is.
Do you think he'll be more of Do you think he'll be more of a pocket passer next season?
I think the next coach will try their damnedest to make him be, but you can't be a pocket passer with the Cardinals offensive line that it was this year. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Like, no matter how much you want to be a pocket passer, at that point you're just a fucking hot read fucking guy. You just gotta boom, boom, boom. What were you gonna say, Juan? Before Will cut you off?
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say because another factor in all this is it's not like somebody hit him and it hurt him. You know what I mean? It was something that he did. So I wonder if he's gonna second guess his movements on his own.
I hope not.
Because this one thing, all right. There's a lot of things going on, so I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there.
Well, once athletes start thinking really before they do stuff, that's what kind of gets your head. And just me playing as someone who played baseball growing up, into college and try to play in college, they always say, don't think of anything. Like, just let your actions go up, and it's so much easier to actually go out and do it. So if any type of athlete, especially someone who's, such a speedster like him with his agility and his movement, if he's out there thinking, I hope that's not the case. And with the competitor he is, I'd like to believe that's not going to. You never know. I mean, yeah. Well, so the last episode we came on here, that was before the Pro Bowl voting. It seems like the Cardinals have one Pro Bowler.
Buddha, except not because he's On IR, probably.
Oh my God, you're right. So Cardinals have none. What did we have? Did Matt Prater make something?
Yeah,
No,
special team. No, I know.
we
Who
only
the
had
fuck?
one.
I know like Gardeck made it alternate
Special teams. Yeah,
teams.
they're like the
Something.
alternate. I believe. I think Prater and Gardeck were
You
both.
guys want to hear something crazy? Despite
No.
the fact that they are almost screw off, despite the fact that they are almost certain to make the playoffs, the Jacksonville Jaguars do not have a single Pro Bowler.
Wow.
Not even Trevor Lawrence. Not even
Uh,
overpaid Christian
Trevor,
Kirk.
yeah, Trevor Lawrence is playing much better this year. They get him some weapons. They get some talent around him. The offensive line has not been that bad. My whole thing with the Cardinals, man, you have 4 or 5 free agents this offseason of the starting offensive line. I was so curious to see what happens. I can see Will Hernandez maybe signing here again, but they just got rid of Sean Cougar, who was his college coach. So how loyal is he here? Like, if he put on good film and someone wants to give him a raise, are the Cardinals willing to match? Can they afford to match when they have 30 guys essentially that are being free agents? So there's a lot of questions, and I'm of the belief it starts up front. You're not this, so this makes the decision easier on Zach Allen and J.J. Watt. You know J.J. Watt ain't coming back, so you gotta fucking pay Zach Allen. You know whether he plays hardball or not. It offensive defensive lines have got to be the number one priority in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hernandez is from UTEP too, if that means anything.
Yep.
There's the tie-in
Yep,
also.
he is. Yep,
And he's
with Sean
Mexican.
Cougar. Thanks, Jackie.
Shout out
You got-
Mexico.
Here's another crazy stat that I figured out the other day. Out of the 8 teams that selected within the top 10 of the 2022 draft, 7 of them are still in the playoff hunt.
Pretty crazy.
Jags and the Lions potentially could make it in, and they were the number 1 and 2 picks. So that's pretty nuts.
And that just makes this season so much more frustrating. You have these teams that drafted at the bottom last year. Cardinals were one of the best teams last year for the majority of the season. And then it's just frustrating.
And the only reason the Jets aren't as sure about it is because their fucking quarterback sucks.
Are we feeling any sort of... so Nick Bosa has 17 and a half.
Oh, who just dropped out? Oh, no, he just... Oh, shit.
What happened?
I think he fucking butt dialed or something. Shit.
Mac?
Mac! Ah!
Mac,
Well,
where's Big Daddy Mac at?
All right, let's just keep talking until he comes back. Yeah, man, I saw that stat and I thought it was completely insane because it's just the fact that we couldn't put it together this year is really astounding because the amount of departures that we actually had going into this year should not have been enough to make us as bad as we are. I'm sorry, this is just a frustrating year.
I know.
Yeah,
we
I
retained
think-
the core of our team and
Hey, Mac,
couldn't
we
do
lost
shit.
you there. You're talking about Nick Bosa, then you cut out.
Fuck Nick
Mac.
Bosa.
Fuck Nick Bosa. Mac, you there?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we
sir.
can hear you.
All right, sorry about
Loud and
that. I
clear.
don't know what the fuck happened.
Me neither.
No, I think that the season started bad when we're trying to hope to win games without Hop. And when you're already in that predicament, it's a doomed disaster. It's a recipe for disaster.
Only we can hang in for six weeks. We'll be fine.
Yeah, that's
a terrible mindset. Yeah.
When you're like, and here we are again, we're gonna jump into next season with that same dilemma, but with Kyler Murray.
Kyler, yeah.
So it's like, shit. So it's like the same boat, and then here's D Hop, teasing that he wants to go when motherfucker should stay because we were pulling for him to come back last year.
Right.
That's not how it works, though.
No, it's an interesting offseason, and I do not envy any GM, whether it's going to be Adrian Wilson, Quentin Harris, or someone that they, bring in from outside the organization with so many holes on this roster and the lack of depth that what has been obvious to most of us entering this offseason, and now you're adding in all the starters that are going to be free agents as well. It's going to be an interesting time. And as a Cardinal fan, man, I just want to, give you an appreciation, Juan. You're a good Cardinal fan. You stand there. I feel like
love you, man.
Sometimes when I get too negative on Twitter, I try to go to your page and say, okay, how's Juan turning this? I need to. How can I be more like Tio Juan? So
Tio Juan.
Yeah.
You know what? Another thing we haven't mentioned either is the center position.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into the season training a new center under a quarterback that he's not even gonna have. You know what I mean? Then we do get Kyler Murray, and it's gonna be marching to him too. That center, the rhythm and everything. It's just a shit show. Like this thing gonna be terrible.
You're gonna definitely have to probably draft somebody and then bring in a veteran free agent who's kind of played with someone similar to Kyler. I feel like you definitely can't go into next offseason without drafting somebody. I believe it feels like we kind of passed that torch down the line a little too much right now, and we could have had Creed Humphrey, but what are we gonna do?
Yeah, I know. In that center position, it's kind of like a specialty type thing. You know what I mean?
You can't just plug and play a lot of guys. We've seen it from Max Garcia to Sean Harlow to Billy Price. It's a lot harder of a position, man, when you're the guy up there and having to, do the cadences and be on, the same time as everyone, and then be able to snap the ball without snapping it over people's heads and then not getting blown up after snapping the ball. Cardinals make it look a lot harder than most teams, but it's definitely a question of need.
Yeah, so. All right, I just wanted to pinpoint on that for a little bit because I know it was kind of like, that's kind of bullshit too.
You guys ready to talk about some pickups?
I don't give a shit about who wins or who loses anymore.
I'm good on pickups. Yeah, we're at an hour right now. I think that's a good episode.
And if anybody's listening on YouTube, I apologize. I typically have the chat up, and I'll be chatting with you guys, but I do not have.
Should we at least talk about our game, or are we just past that at this point?
I mean,
we can talk about our game. We're gonna lose, hopefully.
I hope we lose, but I mean, I could also see us. I could see us winning this game because Desmond Ridder is not a good quarterback.
We want to lose in the last 5 minutes of the game. We want good Cardinal highlights and good shit just to keep us juiced up in it. But at the end, we kind of want to lose.
A lot of drama on Twitter. That's what we live for.
By the way, I forgot to mention this. Trace McSorley is a bum of a quarterback.
Well, so are 95% of quarterbacks in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, but him especially.
Have we looked around the league?
Quarterback for a reason.
I know, and there's only 32 of them in the whole world, right?
It's like
went toe to toe with the GOAT. Tom Brady only lost by a field goal.
That's what gives me hope for the Cardinals GM vacancy in the head coaching position. People say it's not attractive, which I mean, the outside looking in, sure you have Kyler Murray, you have some pieces, but it is not a stable job, and I don't know how many jobs that are very stable that get up in the NFL, but there are only 32 of them. Actually,
no, I don't buy that it's not a stable job. The guy who has it right now has had the job for 10 years. This is the very definition of stable.
Yeah, but that's buddy. You're not coming from an outside organization. It's going to be, you're coming into a new guy, Michael Bidwell, that obviously he wants to be in on the day-to-day shit, and Steve Keim lets him. We've seen it pass all the way down to the head coach. Like you said, he has to do video fucking weekly with the coach, and to me that's bullshit. But as a head coaching job, it's not stable. Who's been our longest tenured fucking head coach in this organization? Just think about it. It's we were here year 4 Cliff, 1 year at Wilkes. 4 years with Arians, or was it 5?
It was 5. You know what? I think Wisenhunt was the first to ever get extended in Cardinal history. Yeah.
Really? And he was a fucking shit coach because Kurt Warner carried that fucking offense.
Yeah.
Once Kurt left, man, they couldn't do that fucking team. There was nothing left. You could tell Kurt was carrying that.
Yeah, we were riding high on that Super Bowl for a while, though, too.
And then Denny Green, he was very successful coach at the Vikings, comes here. He has the Monday night meltdown, which I remember being at my seats for about half an hour after the game ended, just in shock. We were just in shock, still in our seats, like what the fuck. And then Denny Green comes over the jumbotron, and they had that interview over the big screen, and we were like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like, and then that night, I went and tied my Edgerrin James jersey around the Cardinals practice facility doors. Tied that shit on there, and then the next morning, the Cardinals offensive coordinator was fired. Good times.
Yeah,
I love being a Cardinal fan.
It becomes harder to justify by the day.
Let's just do pick'ems with just the Cardinals. I am gonna pick because it's the Cardinals. I'm gonna pick the Cardinals to win. Falcons are not very good. I'll go 19-16.
I don't buy Desmond Ridder at all, but I also don't buy this team at all. So
they have a much better running attack as well with Algier and then Cordell Patterson, but
I thought Cordell Patterson was out.
One thing I'll say about the Cardinals is they have not given up on Cliff. And when Ken Wisenhunt, when we lost 58-0 against Seattle, you knew that fucking Cardinal team gave up on, Wisenhunt, and that's not happening here in Arizona. And all reports seem like the players do like Cliff Kingsbury, but it's just not a very good situation.
Well, of course they'd like him. He's very accommodating. He's a very accommodating to them. I mean,
players coach.
He's a player coach. Yeah. I'm gonna say 24-10 Falcons.
Jesus, I don't believe in Desmond Ridder. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also don't believe in us. Is the thing.
Okay. I'm gonna say 13-9 Falcons.
Oh my god, I don't even want to watch that game. I do not want to watch that game.
Oh, shit.
There was a point early in the year that I thought, hey, maybe I'll travel down. Maybe I'll think a thing of it.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Nope.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't try to make those arrangements.
Atlanta's probably -25 right now. Fuck, I bet.
It doesn't get that cold in the south.
It's 55 degrees tonight there.
Yeah, the north gets cold.
Shit, it is not. I mean,
it's cold as fuck, doesn't it though?
Sunday it's going to be 67 degrees out in Atlanta.
Georgia?
Maybe not. You ever been to Atlanta?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, are you Tio? You're not Tio. Tio. Juan.
Oh.
What's the y'all? No, I've never been down there.
Oh, okay.
I've been to the Midwest, but never there.
You've been to Missouri, right?
Clubs in Atlanta.
Yeah. Jordan loves them.
Who
you got this weekend?
You know what? I got the Cardinals. 21-12 is the score.
21-12. Okay.
That's an interesting score. But yeah, I think that about puts us to a close. Guys, you ready?
Did you pick the Cardinals or ATL?
I'm picking Cardinals, of course.
Jackie, Tio. Tia Jackie. Did you pick AZ or ATL?
Nana, because I'm tired and I'm ready to go to bed. I picked Atlanta.
Okay.
Wow, you guys are fake fans. Sad.
All right. Hey, well, thanks for having me on, guys. This was awesome.
No problem, man.
I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
About damn time, man. It's a good time, though. I had no idea you were from ATL, or ATL, fucking El Paso.
Yeah. Chuco, man.
ATL Paso.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds cool.
It sounds awesome.
Oh yeah, so we'll introduce ourselves one last time, and we'll get you out of here, and hopefully we'll get you back on here another time in the future.
My name is Willie. You can find me on Twitter at @LiveOnThatSwing.
My name is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego.
I am Mac. You can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFien. That's FIEN.
And thanks. I'm your guest today. My name is Theo Juan. You can find me on Twitter at Other Red Rocker.
And this has been another spectacular episode of the Redbird Redzone podcast, and we are out.
Peace.